My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Nunas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
I am Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
I'm Sky.
Today, we bring it back for the first time in 2020. The genre jar. Well, the spirit of the genre jar is back because the actual genre jar is MIA. We may have to have genre jar 2.0. It was a physical jar. I know, like, people don't really do physical jars anymore. Like, they just, like, do the number pick, which is what we did for today. But
no, it was real.
Sky had an actual jar that she wrote down a bunch of genres on little.
Well, I printed them off. I will confess to that. I did not write them down.
Put them all in. Well, you had to type them up, so you wrote them at some point. She cut them up. Put them in the jar, and every time she would pick out 4 and let you all vote. But instead this time we just let the computer pick out 4, and then we put it up on Twitter like we always do, and y'all voted, and surprisingly, like, I thought it wasn't going to go this way. I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were going with thriller, okay, like when I saw that list. But y'all wanted to hear about what we think about web dramas.
That was shocking.
It was I was so surprised. I was like, really? All right, we can do that.
Sure.
But before we do that, what has everyone been watching?
What have I been watching? I started Fairyland Lovers. It's so cute. It's funny, and it's a C-drama. It's like a supernatural, kind of like a fantasy, but a modern fantasy about, like, 1,000 years ago, aliens crash landed on Earth, and when they crash landed here, this, like, fancy alien jade was spread out across the Earth, and if you are a person with an obsession in your life, an obsessive personality or something, and you find one of these pieces of jade, it will, like, start to control you, and it will make your obsession control your life. And
that sounds super
no,
dark.
Wait. Why does that sound a little too close to home right now?
So it's cute. It kind of I don't know, the premise is sort of similar to Moonshine and Valentine.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Me too. It's not nearly as, like, dark as that one was. Like, that one had more of a dark, sexy vibe, and this one's more cute and fun and light. And I've only watched the first, like, 4.5, 5 episodes, but what it seems to have done is it's got a main couple who met hundreds of years ago when he was being controlled by the jade, and then these aliens are, like, good spirits or angels kind of thing, and they go out trying to, like, stop people who have been infected by this jade. And so this guy was infected, and I'm not sure what his obsession was, but it involved killing a lot of people. He was like some kind of warlord, slaughtering people, and
as one does.
Yes, yeah. And then she was like the angel sent to, like, kill him or like stop him from killing people, and instead she fell in love with him, and they got married and lived together, and she created this, like, magical peach blossom plant that helps him, it protects him from the effects of the alien jade and lets him live his life, and he becomes immortal somehow and lives the rest of his life as a doctor curing people who have been infected by alien jade. And he's super rich now. But she, at some point in this past, dies or disappears or something, and he can remember all of their life together, but he can't remember her. So, like, all of his memories have, like, a blank spot where he knows there used to be a person, but he doesn't know what that person is. So, fast forward to now, and he meets this girl who super annoys him all the time, but his, like, peach blossom plant that's been dying for years suddenly starts to come back to life. And it's like, why is my peach blossom plant coming back to life? It's her. She's the girl.
I have a question that I doubt the show will answer, But if he had this dead peach blossom, like, why didn't he just get rid of the dead plant? Why did he just keep this dead plant around?
I think because it was the thing that she gave him, and I think it was like, the idea is that it's dormant or something. I don't know. Okay. It had like dead like brown leaves on it.
Like,
so it must have.
There's a dead plant in your house. Usually you just
like it's
toss it into the compost.
Like he knows that this is the plant that she gave him, right? So then, like in like the first or second episode, he goes to her house for some reason because she like steals the plant from him and takes it home, and then it starts to like revive. Well, like, and then he notices like
treating the plant. The plant is dying.
Yeah.
It's like, once it gets water, it just like
yeah. Then he like comes to her house and he's like, she's got one of these like magical peach blossom plants, but it's like a freaking tree growing in her yard, and he's like, wait a minute. So
you know, I'm actually kind of terrible. Speaking of plants, I have definitely illegally downloaded plants from stores, if you know what I mean. Like if you're in Walmart or something and you're in like where they have the cactuses and like a branch has fallen off,
you're like,
that little branch up, that bitch home. You can have a whole free cactus. I was at a cafe and I snipped off a little spider plant baby. It's now grown in my bedroom. Halifax's greatest
how plants work.
The things you confess.
I know.
On the podcast.
Who'd convict me?
I guess I can't talk.
It's a victim. Next week there's a knock on the door.
So, anyway, it becomes a cohabitation thing because he rents out a floor of her home and now he's moving in. And he still doesn't know who she is, and she annoys the crap out of him, and he annoys the crap out of her. And it's, delightful. So that's fun. And then I'm watching Stove League, which I love. It's really good. It's very enjoyable. It's not really a sports drama. It's like an office drama that's about sports, like where sports is the business, but it's really just an office drama. So if you're like not into sports dramas,
it's still good.
You still might like this.
Huh?
And if you are into sports dramas, it's sporty enough. Like
there's a lot of management type things.
If you're into sports management.
Yes, exactly.
You're in luck, my dude. You're in luck.
I'm still watching Prince of Tennis. I watch it when I'm on the treadmill at the Y, and it's fun, it's cute, it's light, it's just easy and enjoyable and very innocent. Like there is a romance, but it's so like minimal and cute and like 15-year-olds innocently in love. It's very adorable. So I'm enjoying that. And I started Dr. Romantic 2 or Romantic Dr. Teacher Kim 2 or whatever the title is. I haven't watched the first season. It's not bothering me at this point. Like, I know there's some characters that I'm supposed to know, but I don't. But
yeah, it kind of seems like one of those shows.
Like, I guess a lot of the supporting cast is the same from the first season. So if you watch the first season, you get a lot of, like, extras. But if you haven't watched the first season, I'm not finding it problematic at all. I can
kind of like if you were, like, watch ER. You're like, if I watch the second season and I didn't know the first season, there are going to be some characters that, like, I would miss out on, but it's not going to ruin your experience.
Exactly. So far, so good. We'll see how long I can stick with chasing the freebie subs on, like, Vicky and Kapawa, because that's how I'm doing it. But so far, I've managed. Although I did have to watch episode 3 with, like, Vicky said 93% subs. But, like, Vicky had it as 2 separate episodes, right? So they had episode 3 down as being episodes 5 and 6, like 2 half-hour episodes. And the first one was, like, 80%, and the second one was at 0%. And I went away, and I came back, and it was combined into one episode, and now it says 93%. It was not 93%.
You're like, this feels like a lie.
It was such a lie. And I was like, and it's all, I mean, you're watching a medical drama with, like, hospital office politics, and like that's all the stuff they've cut out, right? So the only stuff that's subbed is the stuff like the romantic stuff between the two leads, and like everything else. And I'm like, this entire drama is a medical drama about the politics behind these surgeries. I need to know what they're saying, but actually I kind of didn't. You could kind of tell from what their faces were doing and stuff. You're like, well, that person's spurting blood, and that doesn't seem like a good thing. So I think something went wrong in this surgery.
Generally, that's not good. Your body's not supposed to do that most of the time.
The next night, my Kakawa app was working, so I managed to watch episode 4 with full subs, and it was fine. And
the night Kakawa died was a sad night.
That was the night I was gonna start watching Delicious Rendezvous, and I was just like, well,
I guess not.
I hopped on my bike here at home, and I had it all queued up. I was gonna watch a variety show, and I was like so excited about it, and then I pressed play, and it didn't work. I was like, oh, this is sad.
I like the app loaded, like, so, because this guy came into, like, she messaged me, she's like, hey, is Kakawa working for you? And I was like, all right, let me see here, let me see. I'm like, I'm in bed, because I just live in my bed. And then I just, like, picked up my phone and opened it, and then the app loaded, but then none of the drama is loaded. So it's just, like, a black screen with, like, the title, and I'm like, yeah, there ain't nothing. There ain't nothing here, my dude.
I thought it was just me, and I was like, oh, my Wi-Fi is being a jerk.
Often I'll have issues with Kakawa, but all I'll have to do is log it out and back in for some reason, and then it's like, oh, I'm all better. But I was like, oh, I wonder.
It's more like, fooled you. We're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few other things that, like, I'm trying here and there, but that's basically it. I just did a big Chief Kim rewatch with a bunch of people, so, which was fun. It was a rewatch for me, but everybody else it was new to, so it was kind of weird because they'd be like theorizing about stuff and going on like, ooh, is there a romance? No, there's no romance, guys. I think the romance is going to be these two, and you're like,
no,
still no romance, but okay, it's sure,
that's where you're wrong, champ. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but that's where you're wrong, my dude.
This is not a long con for me.
Yeah. I'm not trying to fool you. There's legitimately no romance. Like, chill out.
It was nice. I caught things that I didn't catch the first time and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool about it, and it was kind of neat to see it through other people's eyes when you kind of know what's coming. And I don't remember all the details, so like there were certain things where I was like, I think this, but I'm not sure. Maybe I just think it because I thought that last time that I watched it, and it just turned out not to be true. So it was good though. It's always a fun drama. So
when was the last time you had watched it? How long ago?
I watched it while it was airing. So.
Yeah. That's when
What is it? A 2017, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
It's a solid drama though. Like
it really is.
It's really good. I only started watching it back when it was airing because I really liked Namgoon Min, and I was like, I'll give it. Like, I don't know what this is about. Blah blah blah. And then I watched it and I was like, holy shit, this is so good. This is so funny. Why is this the funniest drama I've ever seen?
What's kind of weird for me was watching it while I was watching Stove League, because it's also Namgoon Min, and it's sort of a similar concept where he like gets hired to come in and this baseball team in Stove League is like falling apart, and it turns out it's falling apart because there's all kinds of corruption going on with all the different departments, and all this stuff is going on, and he comes in and basically every weekend is a different department that he sets straight, or a different corruption that he deals with, or whatever. So it's very similar in some senses to the pattern of Chief Kim, but like with the like super funny filter taken off, so it's like a regular but like it has its funny moments, but it's wrong.
The difference is it's like he's solving the corruption through competence on Stove League, whereas on Chief Kim he would only solve the corruption by incompetence and accident. So it's like the two sides of the same coin.
Very much.
But when you're watching the same actor, like I've done that before.
It's like vastly different roles. It's just like your
so
mind
weird.
is like, woo.
There were times when he would like walk into the office, like push through the doors, and I'd be like, wait, why is he here? Why is Chief Kim at a baseball? No, wait, wrong. Okay, You have reset.
Like if he doesn't have blonde hair, you're not watching Chief
exactly.
Kim. You're in another story.
Does not have blonde hair in this, so that was sort of helpful. And also, like, he basically never smiles, and he's very stoic and very like severe in this. So
in Chief Kim, he never not smiles.
Pretty much, yeah.
But like he has this sort of smile in Chief Kim, like he's about to con you.
Yeah.
His smile is like, you're about to get got by this dude. and usually they did.
He does some similar, a lot of the things in Stove League are very similar in that sense, where it's like, you think he's doing one thing, and then he's like, but, ta-da, here's my sleight of hand, and here's the real thing I'm doing. But it's like, not funny when he's doing it. It's just competent. I kind
of wonder if he took this role because he sort of saw the same things that we did. Like, hey, this was kind of like, oh, okay, but I don't know, maybe.
It's good. So that's what I'm watching. How about you, Jesse?
Well, I've been watching a lot of J-dramas because that's all I'm doing now. Just watching J-dramas. I watched and finished basically in a weekend this show called Tokyo Terra Iba Matsume, which is Tokyo Girls or something. Tokyo Okay Girls. I don't remember what it translates to. It was on Viki. I had originally picked it just because it was almost the same cast as Because This Is My First, not Because This Is My First Life. The Reason I Can't Find My Love. Yeah. We'll get to Because This Is My First Life later. But I picked it just because of that. It stars the same lead actress that was in the Overtime show that I watched last year. And it was actually really good. It was an easy binge. It's kind of basically about this group of friends who are 30 and they haven't gotten married, and they had all these dreams and plans to get married. And also the big thing was that they were going to get married before the Tokyo Olympics, because I think this aired in 2017 or something like that. So that was their game plan, and it wasn't working out. And the good thing, the thing I liked about the drama was that everybody was flawed in ways that were realistic for a drama, kind of a rom-com-y drama, but never evil. And all the characters would figure out things about themselves and fix them, but it didn't mean that all the rest of their bad traits were fixed as well, because I feel that's a big thing in dramas where there's the redemption arc, or the person figures out their what they're doing wrong, and then magically all the other stuff is fixed when they figure that out. And so they allowed for that to happen, and they allowed for the girls to figure out what they were doing. And I think it was just a really good combination of all that. So if you want a female centric type show, that's a really good one. I also started 2 J-dramas. The first one is this, it's a short drama, and I think it's already completed. I feel it completed in December, but I'm still halfway through because I'm waiting on subs. It's called Follow Saratara Owari. It's a thriller, a kind of psychological thriller, but not thriller in that it's scary. It's just kind of it plays mind tricks on you. It's about this group of kids who are just out of high school, and they're a group of friends from high school, and they all follow this person's Twitter, essentially, because they will if they follow you back, you'll get $1 million or something like that. But all the kids follow this person you don't know, at least I don't know at this point, and things start happening, really bad things. People will be blackmailed, and it just kind of trickles into all of the characters, things they want to do are destroyed because of this person, maybe. You're still trying to figure it out through the entire show, and they focus, at least where I am at this in this show, they kind of do a focus thing where they focus on one of the members of the friend group for each 2 episodes. And the episodes are only 15 minutes a piece, so they're really short. but it's good. I am enjoying it. I want more of it. So that's like my only like problem with it is that like I don't have it all to like super binge it. But it's like, yeah, sub as fast as you want. Like, thank you for doing it, you know?
Right.
The other J-drama that I'm watching is also a drama that Natalia is watching.
Oh my god, I'm so into it.
Ne Sensei Shiranai no.
Oh god, it's so good. It's so good.
So good.
It's so cute. It is literally
we wanted from Coffee and Vanilla that we didn't get. Like, it's like
it's so good.
Coffee and Vanilla, but with consent.
Yes.
Really,
Ooh,
but it's
for
not.
the record, here in a couple days when it finishes, I'm gonna watch it. So
yeah,
it's not a long drama.
Short.
It's really short. And also, it's like it's not spicy like Coffee and Vanilla it was.
It's definitely not like G-rated. Like,
no,
it's definitely not for kids.
PG-13.
Yeah, like, but it's not like Coffee and Vanilla in the way that like Coffee and Vanilla really was. It has the same tone. You felt that Coffee and Vanilla was trying for, but didn't really like pull off. I mean, the lead male is just like
he's so handsome and he's so perfect. Like
so
he's
perfect.
setting
like,
he is setting the bar way too high for any men in reality. It is just unattainable.
He's got a great smile. Like,
oh
just
my
like,
god, he has beautiful hair.
As soon as like
because he plays a hairdresser. But
I like what they do because they kind of split up the episodes. So like the first half is like the viewpoint of the girl, and the second half is the viewpoint of the male lead. And she's a like an artist, a manga artist, and she's like very focused on her work. Mm-hmm. And he's also kind of focused on his work too. So they like meet because she's like hasn't slept in 2 days, and like she's just all disheveled, and she just like goes into this random salon.
She sees herself in like a window of a shop and is like, who the hell is that ugly person? Oh god, that ugly person is me. Like, I was like, shit. So then she's like, I need a haircut or something.
Yeah.
Something. So she goes to like this little hair salon, and then they're like, sorry, we don't take walk-ins. But then
he shows up.
He's like, I'll take care of her. Blah, blah, blah. And then she keeps falling asleep while he's cutting her hair, and he thinks that she's just the cutest thing that he's ever seen. And he likes that.
See, like, throughout the show, like, why he's drawn to her. There's like an actual reason.
So, like, it talks about how he kept getting dumped because he worked so hard that he never had time for his girlfriends, and they all wanted to spend all their time with him. But she doesn't want to, like, she's always working. So now he's experiencing this, and he's like, oh, this is like, I'm just so happy to see her whenever I can see her. Like,
he's ridiculous.
Oh my god,
like, this is the fluffiest little like romantic little show ever.
Like, there's like barely any conflict,
it's but like 100% a slice of life. But it's just like, this is why I like J-dramas so much. I just this is not something a Korean show could ever do with a romantic based show. Like, it's just like they won't do it, and that's what I love about it. It's over the top in that he's so perfect, but it's just like, it's sweet and simple, and like the conflicts aren't that like bad, and they're kind of resolved super fast, and it's just like, it is what it is.
And there's no serial killer? What?
No serial killer. And I love the fact that they keep trying to like slide out time so that they can like finally have sex together, but like she keeps falling asleep, so they never, like, she's so tired from like her deadline,
and she's also,
so they
like,
never end up, like, it's so good.
It's a very like sweet, because she is a virgin, and she like says it to him, and immediately he's like, okay, we'll only do what you want to do. Like, he's like full on like okay and consenting, and it's like,
oh my god, he's just
Coffee and Vanilla, what are you doing?
And then the angels are like,
I was like, the bar is too high. Like, this guy is too, like, he's like the epitome of like a romance manga, like perfect male lead. Like, you can't, there's no competition. He's like good looking. He's always buying her clothes and doing her hair so that she looks the cutest that she possibly can, because he's a hairdresser. Like,
sleeps outside of her like apartment because he wanted to see her and she didn't respond. So he like waited for 6 hours.
Like, he just slept outside her apartment. You're like, bro. And then he like he makes her breakfast and like is like comes over when she's like having a panic attack and is like, just lie down, like just go to sleep, I'll make you some tea, like puts the blanket over her, is like patting her head, and you're like, no,
this isn't real.
No,
keep on wanting more.
No,
it's also a ridiculously short series. I think the last episode airs this week. Definitely worth it to go see it, especially if you were burned by coffee and vanilla like we were.
Burned by that coffee.
In like Korean drama news, I'm not watching a lot of Korean dramas because I'm kind of watching Chocolate. I'm not like up to date on that. I think I just want more of like when I watch it, I kind of watch a couple of episodes and then leave it and then come back to it. Not that it's not good. It just has been that kind of show. And like 2 of the dramas that I actually wanted to watch this month haven't aired yet. So those I'll probably end up picking up because one of them's my tech show and one of them's my Hani show. So I'll probably keep up with those. Yeah. But the other thing that I decided to do was start a rewatch of Because This Is My First Life because
you like it and it makes you happy and that's all that matters. It's a good
and it's on Netflix now. Like literally, that's the only. I turned on Netflix and it was like, you should watch this, and I'm like, I've already watched it twice.
You know what? Okay. I should watch that. That was very much like, you're right, Netflix. I should watch this.
I might know like some of the lines by now, but yeah, sure, whatever. I'm like on episode 8 already. Like, yeah.
That show goes down smooth. That's just the way it goes.
The finest scotch.
Single time. And like, I mean, you would think like I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna like him as much this time, and I still love it. Like it's still like
it's still amazing.
This still is my show. So that's what I've been watching. Lots of J dramas, and I'll probably continue watching lots of J dramas.
I too have been watching J dramas. Y'all thought it was just one. That's where you're wrong, champ. I've been watching a second one as well. I'm watching one called Hanani Kedamono, which is like a teen romance one, and it's kind of terrible. Like, you know, like when you're watching something and you're just like, this is bad, but I kind of want to see where it goes. like I kind of want to see where this is going. It's one of those. It's like about this transfer student who like goes to a new school, and while like she goes like the day before the school opens to show herself around and meets this hot dude who then kisses her, so she thinks that they're in love, and then it turns out he's like the school's hoe. So like all the girls
Most
are after this.
Most people would call it a player.
This sounds familiar.
and so like, but then he's like, oh, it's the girl I kissed. Like we're friends now. And she's like, I don't want to be your fucking friend. Like, no, like I thought you liked me, but you're just a hoe. So then he's like, I'm gonna give up all the other girls because I like her. But meanwhile, like due to the series of events, everyone thinks she's dating this other guy who's like really nice and she should probably actually date, but
he's the second lead, so that's
and then you like find out that like the guy who likes her is like may have gotten her now new best friend at her new school pregnant in middle school. It is taking I want a fucking ride. Like at first I thought it was like, okay, this is gonna be basic, like that he's gonna clean up his hoe ways, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, don't talk to that girl, like I heard that she had like a baby, and I'm just like, what? So and it's the second season, so I'm like, oh, where the fuck is this going? So that was, you know, whatever. Until We Meet Again continues holding all of my heart. I know that it may not be a perfect show, but it is the perfect show for me. So I've been really enjoying it. It's on YouTube. It's just sweet gay romance, very innocent. So good. Until We Meet Again. Just sweet, adorable looking people being in love. Just wonderful. I started a new variety show, Delicious Rendezvous. Now, this confuses some people because I'm very openly a vegan, but I love watching all of these Korean cooking-based shows that are not vegan by any stretch of the imagination. However, cooking's cooking. And you can always find interesting things to make. I'm good at veganizing anything. Like, I'll just fucking switch out that ingredient with something else and it'll be fine. So I actually watch them to learn new ideas for recipes, and I often have come up with things from them that like I eat all the time. Like from an episode of 3 Meals a Day, I make these spicy cold noodles that Eric Munn made in one episode, and I eat like all summer. That's like all I eat. It's delicious. Anyway, the show's really good. The premise is like really interesting. It has that famous chef guy. Like, you'd know him if you...
The dude.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
Where basically he had this idea that he wanted to have a show where they go to rest stops and using the local produce of like farmers, fishermen, whatever, who are having a hard time in the area that the rest stop is, to sort of promote the produce of that area.
Why are they so nice? Oh my God.
I know.
Really cool.
So I'm on like episode 3 now. So I literally just started it like yesterday. From the day we're recording this. And so like in the first, there's like a pilot episode and then there's like a first episode. And in like the pilot episode, they go and they make, like, they're in a place that the produce is like peaches, shiitake mushrooms, and corn. So they make like Mexican corn, like peach cobbler cake, and like shiitake mushrooms on rice. And you're like, whoa. And then in the next episode, they're in a place where it's like red crab and Korean like sand lance, which is like a type of fish. So they're like making, you know, like the most elaborate fucking looking ramen you've ever seen, that they're selling for $5 a bowl, and people are like, how the fuck is this $5? How's this $5? Like, crab alone should be like $10. Like, and they're like, no, like, since it's, you know, it's in season, and we bought it like $1 per crab, like, and then anyway, it's fascinating. Like, they start, so episode 3 is where it really starts to get it in its groove, as it were, where they go visit some potato farmers. And then potato farmers tell them about, like, they come in and there's, like, just a huge mound of potatoes outside. And they're like, like, are these the potatoes for sale? And the woman who's the potato farmer is like, no, those are the ones that we have to throw away. And then he's like, well, why do you have to throw them away? And she's like, well, they're too ugly, so the grocery stores won't buy them. Now, I don't know if you've seen a potato.
Yeah.
Those pretty potatoes.
But all potatoes look the same to me. Am I crazy? Like,
when I think potato, I think pretty.
Yeah. And I actually will buy. They'll do the same thing at my grocery store where they'll sell like the ugly potatoes, but like they look like every other potato. Like maybe there's an extra lump. Like they look like every other potato I've ever seen in my life. So anyway, at this point, he's like calling people to be like, I'm like calling people like on the show, being like, hey, like, hello friend, like you have a lot of sway in like the grocery business. How about we work up a deal where you buy these ugly potatoes and like have like a big promotion and explain why these ugly. And I'm just like, what am I watching? Like, they're trying to just, like, revolutionize the entire
system. And the thing is, he totally could. Like, that's
yeah.
like cake to him.
And then they make delicious food, and people go to rest stops, and Heechul serves them delicious food, and they all eat it and have a great time. While everyone on it is very stressed because they are not professional chefs to act like professional cooks. And then I'm also watching Crash Landing on You. I didn't.
You're also watching something else that I started, Psychopath Diaries.
Oh yes. I'm almost done that. I have like 3 episodes left. I forgot, but I'll let you talk about it because I'm sure you have thoughts. I didn't want to like Crash Landing on You.
You didn't want to like it.
I really didn't. I was like, this is going to be cheesy and dumb. And it's like, how are they possibly going to make this plot work? Because, like, this plot, if you think about it for 5 seconds.
You don't think about it.
You're like, doomed. Like, these people are doomed. Like, there's no good ending. God, this show is so good, though. Like, I am...
They could have made it a super dark show. Like, if they actually went realistic with it.
Well, right now, okay, like, the last episode that I watched, like, which will be the weekend before this past weekend that's coming, when this episode airs, it's Monday, but I'm not talking about the episodes that just happened yesterday and the day before. You're on, I'm talking about the ones a week before that. You know what I mean. They ended on quite a dramatically dark cliffhanger. So I'm like, yeah, well, like, okay, we know she's not dead. She's the main character. Like, let's fucking we know how these shows work. But like,
yeah, later in the show, maybe. But it's like, we're halfway through, guys.
If the end show, I'd be like,
maybe.
Like, she dead. But no, it's not. It's a TVN drama. So I think, right? Yes. So it's like, nah, she's gonna be fine.
It was still very well done.
It's really good, and the acting from everyone on this show, like everyone, side characters, like comic relief, doesn't matter who they are. It's just, even like the gaggle of North Korean children, like you care about them, even though you know nothing about them because of these little. It's good. It's a really good show. I know that, like, a lot of people are probably watching it because it's on Netflix and it's got that Netflix money behind it, and you can
also got those two leads. Like,
yeah,
there's some pretty happening.
Oh, but like, it's just so good, and I didn't want to like it this much. Like, I was expecting, like, yeah, well, I like a good romance, but no, damn, it got me.
I will say, so, like, of course it's fantastical. Not, like, fantasy fantastical, but it's not realistic. But
this plot would never happen.
However, the male lead and the female lead, like, the way they interact and stuff, it's not insta love, which, like, you kind of wondered if it was gonna be.
No.
They did. No. Like, they really, really did not sell that at all. So, like, that really helps the plot. In my opinion, like, there's a lot of depth that you didn't know was actually going to happen.
And what I find really interesting, and this is probably just me because I'm a weirdo, is that their character development happens in completely different timelines. Like, he had one character in the past that then, due to tragic backstories, my favorite, developed into the man he is now. So his character development is reverting to who he was supposed to have been. Whereas her character development, she was set as a person, but now that she's experiencing this, she's becoming a different person. So it's like a really good, like, there's a dichotomy of, like, character development happening. And then there's, like, this villain that, damn, he's one believable. Like, he's the most believable part of the whole show, is that someone,
he feels realistic. Like,
yeah, he feels like someone interviewed a North Korean who, like, there's, like, one character who's, like, a radio operator who's forced to work for this guy who's just doing shady, villainous shit. But his character is so realistic that it kind of feels like they interviewed a North Korean who escaped to South Korea, who that was his actual life, because it's, like, a little too believable. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, this happened to someone. Like, this definitely happened. But it's
because how on earth could they have come up with, like, I mean, you could imagine it, but it would be a tough thing.
Yeah, so basically, like, the villain of the show this is not even giving away that much. Is a guy who basically does hits for the government on, like, its own people, like its own soldiers and stuff. So he runs basically a hit squad. That's all I can think of. And then this poor guy is just forced to be the radio operator who gets to listen to people he knows and likes and respects be murdered by his government as his job. So you're just like, oh, this feels a little too real.
And you see, like, the moral dilemma of that guy. I mean, it goes kind of serious.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's lighthearted, but real dark. It's taken us on all sorts of adventures.
What's good is it does usually do a mix. Like, within one episode, you'll get both sides.
Yeah, it's never like, you're never like, oh god, like,
the entire episode.
Send help. Like, there'll always be, like, you get a little bit of brevity. Just, they'll introduce, like, a fun little side character. Like, in this past episode, they introduced this cute girl in the hospital who secretly liked BTS. And, like,
so funny.
Yeah,
so funny.
It was just really cute. And, like, so you just, like, you know, they ease you back into tragedy and out, like, you're on, like, a little roller coaster. It's like that's when you're going up the track, and then suddenly it's like murder bots, and you're like, no! I hate it. But yeah, what about you, Sky? What have you been watching?
So I've been watching Crash Landing on You, but we just talked about that. I did start Psychopath Diaries yesterday. I think I'm 2 or 3 episodes in. I don't remember.
What a show! That's all I have to say about it.
It is extremely cathartic for somebody like me. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Like, at first you're like, this is the stupidest idea. Like, you can't believe how this plot is going to work, and then you actually see the characters, and you're like, oh, okay, okay, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's, I don't know, as someone that is, or at least was, a doormat, then the main character is very much a pushover guy. And he pretty much realizes that about himself, and he hates that. And then amnesia, and he kind of gets to try to figure out who he was, and then he's way wrong.
Oh, he's
way wrong.
Correct about who he was because of he finds.
But then since you see the whole thing, like, it's really cathartic to see he was a pushover, and then he pretty much usually is not after that, even if he's wrong about who he was.
Yeah,
it gives him a backbone. Like,
it doesn't make sense except for this one character. Like, the writing on the show is so good that you actually believe this could happen, but he's also the dumbest person you've ever met, which is the only way that this show functions, because any sane, intelligent human being would figure out that he is wrong about his identity like, within the first 3 episodes of what's happening. But no, he just sticks with it. He just, oh boy.
But it's, so, like, even if he is calling up, like, memories of movies he's watched or whatever to try to become who he thinks he is, which is a violent killer. Which he fails at, of course.
But not.
As far as, like, all the pluses and minuses of that, in the end, he just becomes him with a backbone. Like, that's all it is.
It's just like...
So then the people around him, like his coworkers or whatever, ultimately, they respect him. Or something, you know, like, they don't take advantage of him. As far as, like, how you got there is really crazy, but ultimately, it's on the upswing for him. Like,
and also Yoon Shi-yoon is like literally the only Korean actor I could see playing this role. Like, I'm thinking of other people. It's like he was made for this role. Like, the role was written for him.
The thing is, he's so good because he's played stuff like this. He's good at the dichotomy of 2 characters.
Yeah.
And so quite often he'll have, like, a fake memory, and so it'll show him being a cold-blooded killer or whatever, and so he has to act that out, and he does a good job. So, but I mean, he's pulled that in some of his other work, so I mean, he's good at it.
But it's like, it's the perfect balance of, like, comedy and thriller, like, that I can't see anyone else pulling off quite to this degree of success, because he's so good at the comedic everything. He's so good at comedy.
Yeah.
That is just like, he makes things that should be patently ridiculous seem believable. Like,
okay, I will say I could see Yoon Sun-ho doing it though.
Yeah, maybe, but
just saying. Just because I like him.
He's perfect. The cast is perfectly cast. Like, it's another perfectly cast drama. I love it. Anyway, I'm just taking over your time.
Well, that was that. I've been passively, once in a while, watching Tenzin Mystic.
Oh! Yay!
Like, I get distracted with other stuff. I know I should be sucked into it. I'm not sucked into it yet. Okay. I find it interesting, but... So, it's kind of like, show. When I'm in the mood for that, I'm like, oh, I need to go watch that now that I'm in the mood. But I became in the mood mostly for, well, I'll talk about that in a second. As far as stuff I caught up on for the end of the year, like, right before the end of the year, I was on a Jasper Lew binge.
I mean,
because I have not watched like his most popular stuff. Like I just suddenly needed to have like, well, I'm gonna do those. So I watched all of When I See You Again, and then I got a little bit into Pleasantly Surprised, which I still need. That's on hold. So I'm gonna be restarting that soon. I had to stop watching Pleasantly Surprised so that I could try to binge these other dramas that I was trying to finish before the end of the year, which were My Girlfriend is an Alien. So I finished that one. It's silly, and it's a C-drama. I really recommend it. I still insist that the lead actor guy, he is actually from Thailand. Really handsome, and he always reminds me of Sung Hoon for some, like they just like their little comedic stuff. Like he's just really pretty. Like it's very similar. But I recommend the show for people that like light C-drama type stuff. I think everyone would enjoy it as long as you're fine with weird alien stuff, because that's what you're gonna get, and a CGI turtle AI thing in every episode. If you can handle the little anime-looking turtle.
Okay.
It does not look real at all.
You're selling it. You're selling it.
So yeah, sure.
It's just a thing. But so it was pretty cute. I also finished Leverage, the K-drama version. I've watched a pretty good handful of the USA Leverage, not like all the seasons or anything, but I'd say it's pretty darn similar.
It's good.
I really, really enjoyed it. They did keep it open for a second season, but like, I'm not going to hang my hat on that because that's life. And no, it is not on any legal sites yet. I'm sorry. I guess I heard that it's on View if you have a VPN to go partake of that if you're not in a country that View does. I have not done that. I was being bad and I was on the high seas for it. So, but I really recommend it. I enjoyed it. Found family. If you liked the player, you will like Leverage. It's the way it works. Like it's the same thing.
Oh.
Search WWW. I finally finished it.
Yay!
Which of course I enjoyed it. It's just I got distracted. I'm sorry. It was great. I forgot how pretty it was. I knew that.
Yeah.
I did not forget how well acted it was. I had forgotten how pretty it was.
It was nice.
But everyone did great, and I liked the way it all ended up, and really enjoyed that. But like this past week or so, I haven't been watching a ton of shows. I kept up with Crash Landing on You. Anyway, I got into random variety show mode, which for me is often figuring out, like some of the members of Infline were on King of the Masked Singer. I better go find those episodes. Or like that type of stuff. Yeah. A couple weeks ago, I was on a random Knowing Bros, Ask Me Anything.
Yeah, and they're good.
I don't know what got me on it, but it was like I watched the Dawn and...
Yes, that's what got me back into it too. Such a good episode. How you know?
And then I watched the Celeb 5 episode, and then I watched the UV Narazo episode, just pretty much all the ridiculous people. Those were the ones I watched. Because I think also because I kept thinking, they'll put the Extraordinary You kids on, and they still haven't released that one yet, but whatever. That was fun. Then I got hooked on 2 Days and One Night, season 4.
I started watching it too.
I have not watched any other 2 Days, One Night seasons, but because Yoon Sun-ho was in it and Ravi, I felt obligated to go check it out. And good. For anyone who hasn't watched it, or they don't know the premise, they really just go on these little trips to like various regions of South Korea, and for 2 days and 1 night, imagine that. But what's like a cute, charming part of that is, and I don't know if they did this the other seasons, but definitely now, they will kind of try to talk about the cuisine of the area or the scenery, and then at the end of the trip, they actually go and help some people. So like one of them was they went to an elder home and they made kimchi for all the elders for this winter or something. Or oh, we're going to go make canes for this like walking path so people don't bust up the walking path with their hiking sticks. Like it's all these really like cute, charming things, but often it talks about the region somehow. And so it's like, it's educational too. Like it's hilarious, but it's educational. I know the first episode, I don't remember where they took them, but it was just these gorgeous mountains and like all these trees. It was really, really pretty. And they were like, there's a place like this in Korea. Like they didn't even know that was like a thing. So, and then two of the guys had to hike up the mountain because they lost the chout. So like it was all funny but
the producer's a woman. Like the head producer is a woman.
Yeah, so they call her Smiley because she doesn't, or she she does smile, and that usually means something bad for them.
Nice.
So
perfect.
They'll always be like, she's being too nice right now. Like I don't know what to do. But also what's funny, I'm trying to what's the name of the guy that he's been on like all the seasons of 2 Days, One Night?
Oh my goodness. Jongmin. Yeah, Jongmin.
So he was in Busted, the idiot in Busted.
Yeah.
And that's always how he's painted through everything he's been in, that he's not very smart. Well, compared to all the other guys on this season of 2 Days, like, because they were doing quizzes for games and stuff, and it would be like capitals of countries. None of the guys know anything. Because he's been on all these shows, he actually knows stuff compared to them. So he's actually like answering things, and they're just like, man, you're smart. And he's like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm never smart. So like, our ace, man, like, that just cracks me up, because even in Busted, I'm used to seeing him be the one that they're all like, you're not very smart. But like, you can tell he's just drinking it up. He's like, I'm the smart one. Like, it's just so funny. And they're all ridiculously incompetent, and they know it. Like, it's great. So I recommend it. And that's what I've been watching.
Yeah. You know what else? You know what else is really smart? When you go and support this podcast by contributing to our coffee. That's right. It's time for the mid-episode sponsorship role. We don't actually have any sponsors except for you, the fine people out there, and ourselves. But mostly you, the fine people out there who support our coffee. ko-fi.com/certified Nunas, where you can go to find excerpts that were cut out of the episode, behind the scenes nonsense, random tangents that we go on that really have nothing to do with anything but having a good time. And also, we love y'all. We love y'all over there on the coffee. So if you want to support this podcast and help us keep going, because we got the hosting fees, we got all sorts of shit, go to kofi.com/certified Nunas and hit us up. You can also just go to certifiednunas.com. There's a link in the sidebar where, we appreciate all the help that people out there give us. If you have no money, I get it. I don't either. If you could maybe send this podcast to someone you think would enjoy listening to it, that would also be just as wonderful. All right. Now that Natalia's mid-show ad roll is over, as it always is, we're going into the meat of this show. This is a genre show. A genre.
The way you said that's very
genre. My French came out there. Genre. I am actually French, so. A little.
I can do that.
A little bit of Acadian came out there. So we are doing a genre episode, and the genre that y'all picked that you wanted us to talk about were web dramas. But then we had a question that, what exactly is a web drama? Now, for me personally, and y'all feel free to disagree, for me, a web drama is sort of like a shorter, like, web series type drama that is usually produced exclusively for, like, websites or, like, web networks. So, like, a YouTube drama, like, there's a few that are on YouTube, but, like, usually they're, like, shorter episodes, like 15-minute episodes, shorter, long, like, they only have, like, 10 episodes in total. And, they're just usually cute and sometimes not, but most of the time they're cute little romances that are just, usually they're selling something. This is what I've noticed, that there's usually the purpose of them is to sell something to you. So like Lottie Mart will make them a lot.
Yes, they do.
That's high quality stuff right there.
Yeah, that's where you get, and they get like big names on these things.
Oh yeah. So and they'll like do a full song for it too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then another thing that happens is like rookie groups will make one as sort of an advertisement. They're selling themselves. So like GOT7 made one that was questionable, but
enjoyable.
Like the thing about the GOT7 one, which is called Dream Nights, if you want to look it up, is that they spent all of their budget on the opening credits. So like the show was a mess, but kind of a fun mess. They're
good if you like the groups, like you'll enjoy them.
But sometimes they can be pretty good. What am I missing? Am I missing anything?
No. I mean, like, web drama is literally, it's exclusively for internet, not for, like, a streaming service, like a Netflix. Basically, almost a free agent where it's made purposely to get picked up, either just, like, be hosted on some random site or just gets out there and then someone will grab it and pay for it to be hosted.
Now, I will say, early on in my drama watching, I didn't know about the existence of web dramas, and the fact that quite often the web dramas now do end up on some of the streaming sites, really threw me off. So like I didn't know there was a difference then, and so actually my first K-drama I watched was a web drama, which of course the production value was like horrific, and it really scared me off of K-dramas again for a while.
They often do not have the best in storytelling, filming, acting.
So it's actually possible to watch web dramas that did not originate on these sites, but like even on Netflix, you can run across web dramas, or Viki or Kokowa. Like they definitely now have a lot of web dramas on. If you're on these streaming sites and you don't know, and you're just gonna watch it for like one of the actors, or it just looks interesting, and then you're like, oh, this is a web drama. Like I see now, which usually it's tagged that, so if you're looking for it, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah.
But if you're not looking for it and you don't know yet, it'll be different. It's not going to be like a normal drama. It's different.
I think the first one that I watched was one of those ones where they're like, it wasn't even one where they were selling stuff. It was like Detective Alice, and she's like a food investigator for like the health board or something. Yeah. So it was like episode after episode of like, don't forget to wash your hands before, the whole history around how you should wash your hands before you prep food and stuff. Like it was just so bizarre, and I was like, what am I watching?
It was for like the sanitation department.
Yeah, like what's going on? And you're like, oh, what? Okay.
It's like the Korean version of OSHA was making a TV show to tell people to be safe at work.
So I feel bad now for how I felt about the first web drama I watched. But it's because I didn't know it was a web drama. Had I known, I probably would have felt differently about it. I probably should go back and watch it again, but I really don't have much want to. It wasn't that bad. Other people liked it. I should try. Noble My Love.
Noble My Love. What a classic. I like that. Didn't even come to mind until you just said that. I was like thinking, oh yeah, that show's not great, but it is kind of entertaining.
So like, if you go in knowing web series it's totally fine.
For a web series, it's pretty good.
But actually, the production quality is actually one of the better.
Yeah, it is. But it's because I started on Netflix Taiwanese shows. And then I had bridged a little, and so like it was a step back for me. Because I was like, K-dramas. I'm like, oh, everyone's saying they're awesome and like high production quality. Like, okay, I got to give it a shot. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
It really wasn't. And actually, the production value was fine. Like, I'm not even. It was actually fine. It was more like, I think, just the way it was structured.
So like you're like 15 minutes, what? Or like 10 minutes, whatever it was.
I was having a lot of trouble with the way the story fit into 15-minute episodes. Like, I struggled really bad.
Yeah.
But now, of course, I've watched a ton of web dramas. I like them. Like, I'm just saying, you got to know what you're getting yourself in.
You have to, like, recognize the genre that you're in. It's like when I read, I always used to laugh about this, where I would read, like, movie reviews of like popular movies, but the people doing the critics of the movies, you could obviously tell that they wanted every movie to be Schindler's List, and you're like, okay, but you can't really expect like Avengers Age of Ultron to be Schindler's List. Like, they're completely, you can't compare the two. There's nothing to compare other than the fact that they're both movies. So in the terms of like web dramas, it's like you can't go into it comparing it to like a Netflix show or like, a TVN drama. Like, it's a different beast, as it were. So this is the genre jar, which means we all now get to reveal a part of ourselves to the world.
That sounded kind of dirty.
Listen, if someone else on this podcast said it would sound totally normal, but because it's me, I'm a little fancy. So we now get to talk about what we would recommend as our favorite web dramas. Now, I need to make an addendum that just because they're our favorite is not a guarantee that you will like them.
No.
And it's not a guarantee that they're the best dramas out there. Because liking something is not contingent upon it being top quality. However, if you follow us and you like the vibe of our Twitter and like our other recommendation, you might want to check out what we recommend to watch, because you might also enjoy it, but this is not a guarantee. So
it's just like, so let me tell you my bad pick.
Because mine is not good, but it's good. Okay, but we're not starting with me. Okay. And what, Amanda, what is your favorite web drama?
My favorite is one that I just watched last year. It's just a pretty brand new one. Our Baseball. It's short little, like 10-minute episodes, something like that, and it's about baseball. Actually, I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't 9 episodes, because that would have been really nice to have like
innings.
9 innings and 9, But anyway, it's very cute. It's well acted. It's got my personal favorite of the Dong brothers, the Dong Hyunbae, as opposed to he's Youngbae's older brother. I love him. If you've seen The Best Hit, he's
cute.
Like the bro in that, the rapper dude, and he's adorable. And there's a bunch of people in this that, like, if you're watching it, you'll recognize, and you'll be like, oh, that's that guy from that thing, or, there's a lot of those faces that are, like, secondary characters or side characters and a lot of stuff. A lot of pretty faces, too. And it's nice, the way it's set up is that, like, every episode sort of focuses on one of the players of this team, and it's not a professional team. It's like a beer league team. And they've made it, I can't remember if they've made it into the final game or if they've made it, like, if they win this game, they'll make it into the finals. But it's sort of all based around this one final game, like, that either gets them to the finals or is the final. I think it is the final game of the season. So, like, they could be the winners of the, the beer league trophy, like, woo! Oh. But they all have, like, issues in their personal life, so this has become kind of something that is really important. Like, even if you're not professional at something, it's still nice, like, it's nice to do well at it. And so each episode focuses on a different character, and they have such a variety of characters. So, like, there's a young guy who played college ball, but then had a scandal and had to drop out and, like, never went pro. And there's these 2 brothers who are, like, office workers, and they're going through a whole thing at the office right now where they're trying to, like, unionize, but the office is trying to fire everybody. And there's, like, a dad who is trying to balance his, like, being a good husband and dad with, like, I have this one thing that I like to do in my spare time, and, you know, but, like, my wife has a job, and so, like, one of the episodes is where he's supposed to be taking his daughters camping for the weekend, but, like, they need him because a couple of the other guys are sick or something, so, like, he has to come for this game, and he's like, okay, so he comes and, like, has the girls pitch the tent off, like, next to the field kind of thing, and, like, and his wife calls at one point and is, like, talking to the daughters, and she's like, wait, where are you? And they're like, Daddy's playing baseball, and, like, dang it, like, and so, you know.
Little narcs, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like, every episode has, like, you think it's going to go one way, so, like that episode, like, you think she's going to come and she's going to rip him a new one and, like, divorce, right? But she gets there and she hears somebody on the team is, like, giving him a hard time because he struck out or whatever, and she turns around and just, like, tears a strip off this guy, like, don't talk to my husband like that, he's great, he's a wonderful player, and, like, me and my daughters are here. He's like, how dare you talk to him that way in front of his daughters? And then they, like, cheer and camp in the baseball field, and it's, like, cute, and you're like, oh, like, it's a really nice drama. It's very enjoyable and quick and easy, and the production quality on it's pretty good. So I think it's actually a Nabercast drama or something. So those have been getting a little higher quality, I think.
So were they trying to sell anything during it?
Nothing that I noticed. I think maybe there might have been a brand, like a sports brand, because there was some focus on, like, certain bats or balls and things. So there might have been, but, like, it wasn't something that I recognized, and it wasn't so overwhelming. Like, it wasn't like, and let me pause in the middle of running my laps to take a drink from this, you know, like, it was just close-up shots of, like, the new baseball bat or the new glove or the, you know, things like that. So I think there's a good chance if you were Korean and you were watching it, you'd be like, oh, they're subconsciously trying to make sure that I buy this brand, but it wasn't hit you over the head with it.
How about you, Jessie?
So I'm picking one that I have to preface it that I watched it a really long time ago, so, like, my memory of it is iffy. It was, like, one of the first dramas I watched, and back when I started to watch dramas, most of my dramas were picked because I knew people in them, which meant that I knew my select few of K-pop people, because I picked Boys Over Flowers because of Double S 501. There's, like, it's the only reason. And so I picked the show Please Remember Princess because of Jihyun, who's in 4 Minute. She was in it, and I was like, I'll pick this, and it was on Netflix. It's this little drama about, she plays, like, a dance and theater major, or just dance major, I can't remember, and the male lead is one of the kids from Infinite, and he plays, like, a math or engineer or one of those type things, and he basically falls in love with her, and so, like, he's, like, the dorky kid, and, like, kind of, like, doesn't know how to be with her, and she's kind of pretty, like, chill and laid back, because she's also, like, a theater kid too, you know, she has that, like, kind of mentality, and so basically the entire show is just based on them in college, and kind of, like, him trying to be with her, but she also has a boyfriend, and I think they're, like, putting on a show that's very, like, much like a thrown together type production, and I think this is why I also picked it. I was like, oh, there's, like, a theater thing connection to it, cool. I think the kid gets cast in the show as well, like, it's one of those things, and he does it because she's in it, you know, it's like a normal, like, trope in any countries, like, if there's a theater thing, the, like, kid gets, like, thrown into the cast because he really likes the girl or whatever. But it was, like, really cute. The characters are kind of, like, off the wall. Like, I remember, like, the dance or theater teacher being pretty crazy, and, like, she was always, like, smoking, I think. The production value on it was pretty bad, and they're not all the best actors. Like, maybe you should stay as a K-pop idol and not but I love them. And it was like just like it had some endearing qualities to it, I think, because the female lead, she wasn't really over the top crazy, but she was also kind of like she was definitely kind of like that the dream girl. Everybody really liked her, but she was just like very chill, and she had this like, her dad was really like strict on her because he was in the military, and so they had that kind of thing, and it was just like a very sweet kind of like budding romance type drama. And I mean, like, it's short and it's, you know, not the greatest, but it was also like pretty cute for like being one of the first dramas that I saw. And I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix. I don't think Netflix has taken it off yet. So if you're looking for something, I think it was made in 2012. So it's an older drama as well. So you can see some of your favorite idols, you know,
struggling.
Baby version.
I mean, they tried, and it was, you know, it's cute. I think if you're a theater kid, you'd probably enjoy it, you know, especially like a high school theater kid. That's like the good audience for this drama. But, you know, it's worth a shot. I mean, web dramas are short, so that's like the really great thing about them.
The risk is so low.
Yeah, and it's like
you
great.
Spend an afternoon watching it, you're done.
Yeah, it's entertaining. I didn't hate it enough to drop it, and even at that point, I was still like, I don't watch or read things I don't like. So what about you, Natalia?
Okay.
With this one, I'm on the edge of my seat.
I know. Okay, so the one that I'm about to recommend is a friggin' banger, okay? It is, despite the fact that it is about two completely straight men, it is the closest that Korea has ever come to a boys' love drama that you will ever see. I am, of course, talking about the seminal classic Boy Next Door, which stars the main actor from Parasite and the dude from Search WWW, the main girl's boy. You know who I'm talking about. Kill It. Yeah. Where they play two next door neighbors, college students, who initially hate each other, but keep falling into these really gay seeming situations. So like anyone on the outside is like, oh, they're a gay couple. So it starts out, every episode will start out with them in a very romantic situation. And then the rest of the episode is showing the like,
how you got there?
The comedy of errors that led to, like, so in like one
to this compromising position typically.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll begin with them like both, you know, like hugging in the shower or something, and then the rest of the episode is just like the bullshit that happened, that like the completely innocent like nonsense that happened that ends with them hugging naked in a shower. Like, and it's like prime comedy. And I really think like the person who wrote it just wanted to write a BL drama, I'm gonna be honest, but like Korea was not ready for it yet. But they're pretty, like, it's a pretty good one. It's pure comedy. It's like, okay, to the life of me, I don't know what it was trying to sell, but I think it was made by an app. So I don't know. It's Grindr was trying to this was before Grindr, but it's really funny. You can watch it all on YouTube. It's all on YouTube, with English subs and everything, and it is so stupid. Like, I need to preface this that it is dumb, but also so funny that you just find yourself watching it. And you can find it on YouTube, like, they, instead of cutting it up into episodes, they have like one that you can watch that's just like every episode. It's like an hour long, like, mini film. It's so good, guys. Like, it's so stupid and fun. And like, quality wise, it's okay. Like, when I mean like quality, I mean like filming quality and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's okay. But like, the acting is because like those two actors are incredible actors, you know. So it's just like them having fun playing two straight guys who are obviously soulmates. Like, that's what you take away from this show. It's like, oh, the only thing stopping these two from being in love is they're clinging to the heteronormative lifestyle If they would just unbind themselves from the shackles, they would be perfectly in love. So, yeah, no, it's a classic. It's a good one. Do recommend. What about you, Sky?
I don't think mine's going to be a shocker. I think that
I almost picked one.
Ooh, what's it going to be?
Top management.
Yeah.
Yay! See,
So,
I knew that was gonna be yours. Like, I almost was like, do I joke and say that's mine? But I'm like, no, I don't want to give her a heart attack.
Territorial. So I'm gonna say, actually, I don't know now. I wonder if it's available on normal YouTube now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I watched it as it was being out.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably. My theory is that on normal YouTube you can probably watch a little bit of each episode.
I think you can watch it for a couple episodes or something, and then they're like,
yeah, like
you want to see how the story ends
somehow, because it is made by YouTube Red. So pretty much you have to have the YouTube subscription in order to watch it. So sorry, but you can find clips around pretty easily.
You can probably find it in other locations.
Yeah.
We're not saying that you should do that. You should just pay for a month's trial on YouTube Red for free.
If you haven't
you can do the
Garden. Here's what you do. You make a new Gmail account.
Yeah.
You put on your little fake mustache, pretend you're someone else, get a month's trial over on YouTube Premium. There you go.
And then cancel it after a month.
Or
set a little timer.
And maybe not even just for this show. If there are a couple of other things that you've been thinking you want to watch on YouTube Red, just get yourself a little list. You get some extra time, and you watch them all.
Take your vacation, sit at home, put your feet up, grab your iPad, sign into your fake account.
Maybe you're sick for a week. Well, there you go.
Perfect time.
So, top management.
We're terrible.
I really, really enjoyed it. It is, as far as what it's selling, I think it was probably selling YouTube Red, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe K-pop idol life on some level. I'm not quite sure, because it is about kind of the behind the scenes of idols. I feel
like it was selling K-pop as a genre.
Right,
and like K-dramas. Like it was just selling Korean entertainment.
Now, it's not like it's totally realistic. The main chick, she can see the future.
But it's not like that useful.
Yeah, it's not a helpful thing for the most part.
Once and then goes away.
Yeah, it does. It's not helpful to her in any way. It's always like kind of more of a barrier than anything else. Pretty much like she was in they never said it, but like one of the produce shows, and she didn't debut for various reasons, and then she ended up becoming a manager at a entertainment company. So then there's a failing boy group, and then she helps them, and she tries to use her future knowledge powers poorly, and it just kind of ends up being a mess. And then in the boy group they add in a new member, so that's a thing. Mm-hmm. It's all very funny. A lot of it is filmed at Fantagio, which is Astro's building entertainment company.
Because that's John Woo in it. That's what she's
he's in it.
Yet. Well, I know, you were on the edge of your seat. You were out there thinking, well, what about this makes it so obvious that Sky would like it?
Oh, the guy he's in Dr. Kim right now.
And he's so cute.
He's adorable.
Oh, he's just
he plays a Mongolian character who comes and is the added member.
Oh boy.
And he's like the musical genius.
Once in his life he was gonna be in GOT7, so there you go.
And Chan Woo, his character name is Woo Yun Woo. So yeah. And he plays an actor idol, and even within, so he within the show, he goes on set, and his character name on set is his actual real name, so it was all good. Like,
he's playing himself, is what is happening. Is he's playing
really
the character of him.
Really, like, I mean, not quite. He talked about that, but anyway,
we talked about this.
Well, the music is actually really, really good. They had the girls know this. I like concepts a lot. It's just the way I'm wired. So the fact that even before they had this web drama, they had an Instagram account for the boy group called Soul. That's the boy group's name. And so they had an Instagram account, and they like, here's the members, and here's the music video, and here's a couple of songs, and they actually released a mini album of their songs, the fake boy group songs.
Yeah.
Then, after the web series debuted and stuff, then they had an actual soundtrack for it. All of which is like really great music, and a lot of that ended up on my list for that year. So I really enjoyed it. I think a lot of it was very peppy stuff. Yeah, and even like the kid who plays the rapper of the boy group, like he's really a rapper. He has he's won contests in real life for those. So I mean, it's not like it's all awful. I mean, it's all actually very well done. So there's even a scene about fanfic stuff and shipping, and it's very tongue-in-cheek and funny. Yeah. And pretty much the boy group members knowing that shipping exists, and that, no, I don't want to hang with you because now the fans aren't shipping us together. I'd rather hang out with him, take a picture with him.
The shipping, like the shipping scene. I can't. Like,
it's so good.
It's so good.
It's the beginning of one of the episodes, and so you actually think for a second, like, what is going on? But then at the close of the scene, it's like, oh, they're reading a fanfic story. That's happening, right?
Because, like, let's be honest, if we were celebrities, well, at least I know I will be on Wattpad looking up nasty fics about myself, too. I'd be like, ooh, I wonder what the people are saying that I'm up to.
So, it's also really fun about top management is there's behind the scenes stuff all over YouTube, too. So they have a behind the scenes of how they really reacted to having to film that scene. And it was incredibly awkward. Like, they struggled.
Well, it's just like the way that they put, like, that they like interlace their fingers, and it's so slow and ridiculous, and you're just like, come on.
It's like all dreamy and So, you know what this show reminds me of? There was a show like on MTV very, very long time ago, because I'm old, and it was called Together. And it was the fake boy group. I know my calculus. Do you not remember this show? Oh my gosh.
I didn't have a television until I went to college.
On MTV, and it was probably, it was high school, so late 90s. And it was it was supposed to be like a boy group based off of like Backstreet Boys and seeing how they're kind of like they were, you know, put together with what's it, Perlman, the guy that like
molested all of them,
yeah, like they like become really famous, and like so they have like scenes of them like in the mall being like really famous, and they have this song, and it's like it's like, I know my calculus, it says you plus me equals us, and it became like a legitimate like song that everybody was singing. And then I think it was like originally just like a kind of like a special, and then they made it into a full TV show. Look it up. It's like two, like the number two together. So maybe that's what K-pop did. They saw that and they were like, oh, Americans are putting numbers in their group names.
But yeah, top management, like, though it's fluffy, it's very bright and fluffy and fun, but also, like, aspects of it, it's pretty legit to a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes with K-pop things. It's not like the dark stuff by any means, but pretty much the boss lady that you end up really liking, like, you can tell that her hands are tied and she's trying to do her best, and then in the end, she has to make some hard decisions. Like, and no, that's not as realistic as what really goes down in real life. They really reflected a lot of the small struggles that idols do go through. Possibly breaking up if this album doesn't work. I mean, you could tell they were scared. So, I mean, they reflected a lot of those types of things. Or even, I'm going to go back to the Easter eggs for a second, because it was just really funny that they would show, like, when the members would do pretty much a V Live, and one of the members isn't there, and how they would have a little cutout of him and still try to talk about that member. Like, that happens because that's definitely what Astro has done with Dinwoo before. So a lot of it's true to life, except for the fantasy and the, like, extra bubble. But I thought it was pretty good insight. And I actually learned a couple things. I don't remember what they were now, because it's been like a year. But there was a little bit of insight that I didn't even know at the time. So I think it's pretty good for that.
So, yeah. That's cute.
And production quality,
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
No, they had some money.
That's on the.
It's also like all the top like actors too. It's like the girl who plays the management company like interim CEO is the girl who is the friend on Just Between Lovers and a bunch of different other things. Yeah. Who's also was in a girl group. I can't remember which one.
This has been another episode of the Certified Nunas, your podcast that's here for you and your obsessions with all things Asian entertainment. You can listen to us wherever you're listening to us now, but if you feel like mixing it up, we're on YouTube. We are on Stitcher. We are on Podbean. We are on Apple iTunes. We are on Google Podcasts. We are on Spotify. Oh, Jesus, we're just everywhere. So, and, you know, at the end of the day, you can just go to certifiednunas.com. And all of the episodes are there to be streamed right from the website, including all of our show notes and time codes. So if you're into that sort of thing and you just, you know, like that, we have all the links to everything that we talk about that needs links, everything. Jessie does a great job. She sets it all up. She's the tits. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on Tumblr. We are on Twitter mostly. We very much live on Twitter. @Certified Nunas is our username on all of them.
We favor Twitter.
We just, you know, we're all there. We post lots of stuff. We're even
on my drama list.
Yes, we are on my drama. Of course, we're on my drama list. If you're not on my drama list, we're not sponsored by them, but y'all should be, because that's where you get all the information you need about dramas.
It helps a lot.
Yeah, and you can also keep track. Anyway, we got a whole episode about that. I'm sure it'll magically be linked somewhere in the show notes on certifiednunas.com. And if you want to support this podcast, we would really appreciate it. And you can go to ko-fi.com/certifiednunas and buy us a coffee and help support keeping this podcast going. We got so much fun stuff to tell you and so much fun stuff to do, but unfortunately, fun stuff costs money. We don't have any. So, isn't that life though? It's like adult life right there. So, we hope you have a fantastic week and you keep enjoying all the Asian entertainment that the world has to offer. And have a fantastic week and stay safe and stay bundled up if you're in the northern hemisphere like we are. And if you're not, well,
stay safe.
Lucky you. Anyway, have a wonderful week. Bye.
Bye.